Hi, I'm Ross Greenwood from Macquarie Radio, and with me today, Skander Malcolm, who is the Chief Executive of OFX. Skander, we got together a little while ago and tried to come up with a campaign to help businesses understand how they could go global. That was what it was all about, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's spot on. And at OFX, we help people move money, small businesses move money around the world. And we wanted to find a small business that we could help go global. And so we start up this competition with you.
Now, I should say that OFX has been a really strong supporter of the radio program Money News for many, many years. And it comes partly because I'm actually a customer of OFX. And so as a result, I knew firsthand exactly what it could do for a business by having an ability to transfer funds easily and at reasonable cost as well. But in this particular case, the idea was to try and help other businesses just take that next step, wasn't it?
It is daunting when you're a small business. You're trying to figure out things like tax and which licenses do I need, and then money is just one of those things that you think, oh, well, do I do that with my bank, or is there someone else who can help and provide me that service and great price and speed that I'm looking for?
Okay, so in the end, we had a whole bunch of entries come through. There was a judging committee of two. You guessed it, was the two of us. And so as a result, we came up with a company, and that company, Compusoft, is the winner. A software company that basically looks in particular at the whole food industry. The sales director, Milton Went, is with me now. Many thanks, Milton. Just broadly explain the ambitions of the company. Broadly explain what you do to people, first up.
We're in the wholesale food distribution space with our new product called Compusoft.
So this is really all about being a solution for the food industry to make certain you've got inventory in the right place at the right time, to make certain you've got production going at the right time, at the right speed, and you've got a solution to make certain that that can be programmed and monitored at all times.
It's end-to-end from client engagement to delivery of services.
Okay, so how long's the business been going for?
29 years.
29 years. Okay, so you've been successful. Tell me about the steps overseas.
It's very exciting and a little bit daunting. We'd like to expand across globally, as a lot of the ISVs for Microsoft do. But the easiest place for us to go to is a country that has a similar culture, a similar business ethic. So we see the biggest market that fits all those boxes is the US.
And of course, a free trade agreement with the United States would help in these ambitions as well. We're going to find out a little bit more just how perhaps Compusoft could have that adventure and maybe a few dollars overseas as well. Now we go to a few of our experts today helping out Compusoft to try and achieve its ambitions of going overseas. Lisa, first up, a company going overseas. Lots of Australian companies have tried to do that. They come back to Australia, tail between their legs because they've been bitten overseas. It's not as easy as many people anticipate.
The key is making sure that a company does their homework, ensuring that they spend time before they go overseas developing their export strategy, and they realise that from the get-go it's going to be a long-term time commitment and a financial commitment.
So Cynthia, do you reckon a lot of companies when they go overseas just underestimate the amount of competition they're going to confront once they hit that new market?
Absolutely, Ross. You wouldn't believe the number of people who actually tell me, oh, we don't have any competition, we're a one-of-a-kind solution.
Even if you go as close as New Zealand, there are cultural differences you've got to become aware of.
You often run into more problems where the cultures appear to be quite similar, and superficially the US culture and the Australian culture appear to be almost the same, but there's maybe 20%, 30% of difference that it's hard to see that creates the problems and the friction in the working relationship. But
it's actually the reward that is the lure, isn't it? So the markets are bigger, the opportunities are much larger, and the learning it's almost an adventure in some ways you've got to go on.
Well, I do think it is an adventure, and it's an exciting adventure for any new company that's starting out on the process. The most successful Australian businesses have been the ones that internationalise because it makes them more innovative, it makes them invest in R&D, and it makes them invest in their internal resources and their staff, and in the long run that makes them a more competitive and sustainable business.
Well, let's just hope also that after a little bit of assistance today might be Compusoft in the future.
The journey of going offshore is not just one facet of your business, it's many facets. But it's actually about commitment.
The biggest risk is keeping up with the growth, and the market is 100 times bigger at least than the Australian market.
Understand that as soon as you become global, you're taking on currency risk, particularly as a small business.
Too many times I've seen large organisations shrink back to Australia because it is comfortable.
First lesson, no two markets are the same. Just one of the things I recommend to people going into new markets is spend a whole lot of time there. The founder network is really strong in America, and Aussies like to help Aussies.
I like to tell companies to look at markets where no one else is looking, because you have a significant advantage if you can go into a market where it's not crowded.
You need to know what's already made you good and how you're going to extrapolate that into the new market that you're going to.
We'll keep watching you because I'd like to kind of see where the journey goes to and how it progresses.
This session has been invaluable.
No, it's terrific.
And it's just given me a lot more work to do.
So at the conclusion of our session today, what's come of it? It worked pretty well. It's kind of interesting, some of the lessons that came out today.
But you've got a whole sort of support network. That was my big lesson, and people who are out there to support you and make you a success in the US. We're cheering for you, as are a lot of other Australians living over there.
And Milton, one of the things that came out for me, I kind of guess, is you're a fair way down the track in your planning. But one of the other things that we also talked about was actually committing the boots to the ground, committing personally yourself to it, because to trust somebody else implicitly overseas doesn't necessarily pick up the cultures and the values of your own business.
Correct.
Do you change your plan at all? Is it steady as she goes? What do you think?
A lot of reviewing. A lot of smart people in the room this morning, but still moving forward.
I'll tell you what, moving forward is the most important thing at all. And I'll tell you, we will continue to monitor and watch the progress of Compusoft, because it could be the next great Australian overseas success story. On behalf of Skander and myself from OFX, from the Macquarie Radio Network right around Australia, many thanks, and we hope you enjoyed it.